Marks is a legend in the coaching community, Sam. These guys are going to come out here. This is their biggest game of the season in terms of teams that they're playing. So they're all going to try and make their mark, but at the same time, they got to find out what they're going to be made of this season and what their backbone is.
If you're a Flames fan, you've got to learn a lot of new names this year. 11 newcomers, including 8 Division I transfers. Only 4 guys return, including Pickett and Schkobal, but the other 3 you see, Henderson, Jackson, and Ciani. They're all new. It's a new season of college basketball in Chicago, and we are so thrilled to have you with us. UIC in the white, St. Francis in the brown, and Sasha Ciani, one of those 8 transfers up top. Here's an early 3-ball, and it sinks for Javon Jackson. What a start.
Sam, Coach Isan couldn't emphasize enough how much of a high up-tempo shooting threes pro-style game he wants to play, and they do that right out of the gun with a nice set and a good look for a 3.
And now we get a look at the St. Francis Fighting Saints out of the Chicago Collegiate Athletic Conference, and a 3 misses for Nick Niego. Flames are pushing the tempo early. Jackson to spin, Jackson to finish. There is that pace.
Yeah, it's exactly what they want to do. One pass up the court. Coach Isan talking about getting it from rim to rim in 4 seconds. That was about 2 right there, which is elite. And Coach Marks, before the game, telling us he wanted his players to learn the sense of urgency that you get from playing a team like a UIC.
Fox the miss, Ciani the board, and then a steal from Delshawn Sims. Picked a pocket of Henderson. Sims is open. His 3 is rebounded by Schkobal. Here comes that new fast Flames offense.
Yeah, and we see Schkobal playing a little bit more of a 4 this season for Coach Isan.
Ahmad Henderson the second, a transfer from Niagara. He is speedy, and he finishes the deuce.
Well, if you're going to switch 1 through 5 like Coach Marks was doing, and you get a mismatch like that with with Henderson, he's going to take advantage of it again. Pro set, spread out, and attack the rim.
Coach Isan said no one can keep Ahmad Henderson out of the paint, and no one did there.
I used to hate to play against guys like that. They're just so quick. They wear your legs out.
Sims lost it. It'll stay here with St. Francis. We asked Coach Isan, his first year at the helm, what's going to be different this year for UIC? And he said, hey, fast, a lot of passing, a lot of shots. It's a new look team. As Ramel Davis with those mismatched shoes, and a rebound and a putback for Anabi Tarte.
And, the hallmark of an elite transition team or fast-paced team, Sam, is how quickly they get the ball out and up the court off of a make. A lot of times teams can do it off of a miss, but it's how you get it off of a make that shows how elite you are.
Henderson stripped for a moment and will stay here. I think you're seeing UIC come up super quick. It feels like they get that ball across half court in a flash. Another look at that last strip.
Again, you can just tell from the Flames here, Sammy, elite level spacing. Leave the paint wide open for penetration and kick. Mid-range is bad. You either want a 3 or a shot at the rim.
Oh, and how about that 3 with the shot clock winding? Ahmad Henderson off 1 foot.
Ahmad's making his presence known early. And if you're Coach Isan, you got to love that from your point guard, your general out on the court.
And all 10 UIC points scored by newcomers. Henderson with 5, Jackson with 5. Sims throws it to Jackson, and here come the Flames. Schkobal, Henderson, and he's stripped. Anabi Tarte scoops it up.
We'll see both teams be a little nervous here. They'll start to settle in, get a little bit more rhythm on offense.
Ben Fox, the big man from Germany, with an air ball. And Pickett pushing the pace. Ethan Pickett, his second year as a Flame. The spin, the scoop, and the finish for Ethan.
You can tell Coach Isan has really instituted confidence into these guys offensively. And just looking right now, this team in their length at the 3, 4, and 5 position is going to be at a level in the Missouri Valley Conference where they will have a height and length advantage at the 3, 4, and 5.
Fox working on Siani, UIC's tallest player. And Fox an extra step, Siani holding firm, and UIC starting fast. 5 to 6 shooting, and a 10-point lead on the opening night of college basketball in Chicago. Plan. Nearly 4,000 are waiting just in Illinois. You can save lives by registering as a donor at giftofhope.org. Back in Chicago, enjoying the cushy seats. Hope you're enjoying the cushy seat at home. Sam Bree, Chris Sparks, and our wonderful crew with you. St. Francis UIC, the opener, and Chris, it's all speed from UIC with a 10-point lead.
Well, being led by Ahmad Henderson, just a brother Rice product. And boy, if you have a guy like Ahmad Henderson leading everything on the offensive end, has the vision he does, and the ability to create off the dribble, with the spacing that Coach Eson wants to have on the offensive end, there's going to be a lot of good things happening.
Here's Henderson. Now Jackson, the three ball. Boom! Javon Jackson hasn't missed. He has 8.
I tell you what, it's a very deliberate shot, but it's fundamentally sound, and he really gets his feet set, lines it up, and knocks it down.
And that's his second steal. He's doing it all, and the step through is rejected by Don Jokum. So the first miss of the night for Mr. Jackson. Another look at the D.
Yeah, right there. He should have just taken it up a little bit stronger. But again, these guys are just getting their rhythm here. They've been beating each other up for months in practice. And you go against some other teams, some other style of play, things are going to change.
A little messy for a moment, but avoid the backcourt violation. Now we can pick it. Off the dribble, his 3-ball. Offensive board, Skobal.
Something you'll see a lot of this year, Sam, is with the spacing and a lot of threes, a lot of long offensive rebounds.
Sasha Siani, the transfer from Xavier, making it look easy in the post.
When you talk about length and footwork, he's got it.
Here's Merrick Small, the Australian-born big man, who, in his coach's words, is anything but small. That's strong. Rebound. Yields a foul, and here comes the UIC line change. 4 new flames coming in. Freeman, Contreras, Mason, and Reeves.
Yeah, wholesale substitutions, and again, you're not losing much on the length end with this group that's in now. You got to love, I love the off-white uniforms as well, Sam. I've never seen these before.
Would you call it a cream, beige?
Yeah, cream, off-white, whatever. They're sharp.
It's beautiful. New UIC set. Jalen Renaud checking in for St. Francis. Speaking of uniforms, we saw St. Francis the moment we walked in wearing those handy-stripe pants on the warm-up, sort of like the Indiana Hoosiers do.
Yep.
Coach Ryan Marks brought him 4 years ago. That's his fingerprint.
Like I said, see those, you know you're in the Midwest.
Freeman, a 3. Got it! UIC hot shooting right now.
I tell you what, if you're going to space and penetrate and knock shots down like that, you can tell by the footwork of the Flames, when they catch Sam, they're doing all the work before they catch the ball. 1-2 step in, easy 3-point shots.
And it was easy for Ty Freeman, transfer from Kent State, shot 46% from downtown last year. And UIC forces its fourth turnover.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, St. Francis
is up brief.
Yeah, Coach Marks took over this program here, and there could be a better guy for it. That NAIA Chicago Collegiate Conference is one of the best in the country. Very difficult to play. You get a lot of D1 transfers, a lot of kids coming back home.
And there's another 3 for UIC. Jordan Mason this time, forcing a timeout. It's a 16-0 run over the last 3:35. These Flames can shoot.
Well, they're showing the system they've been working on all preseason and off-season, right? And as a head coach, the one thing you're always wondering is how's it going to translate. And what you can see that the Flames are doing, Sam, as Mason knocks down that 3, is they're maintaining that spacing. A lot of times you'll see players, they want to start creeping in one direction. They won't have the discipline to stay in their quadrant where they're supposed to force the defense to choose either to guard the penetrator or help him recover on the 3. But you want to be spaced out so wide that you can't do both.
And that spacing takes everyone to tango.
It does. Yeah, it is a dance. And if like we saw in that last play where Mason knocked down the three, that was created by penetration on the opposite wing. St. Francis overhelped, which left Mason wide open.
A 16-0 run for UIC over the last 3:30. 5 of 6 shooting from downtown. The numbers are gaudy right now.
And so right now, we talk about just settling into the game, Sam. And we see, Coach Marks called the timeout. That's good. He wants to get his guys just relax, start running their plays, get a good-looking shot.
Jokum hits a good-looking one. That's one of the Jokum brothers. Done.
Yeah, good look. Nice set call there by Coach Marks.
That's what you like to see after a timeout. Here's Jackson off the handoff. Javon Jackson with a head of steam.
Yeah, I mean, that's an NBA set that everybody's running right now, which is very difficult to guard. You have guys that can penetrate and shoot.
Flames getting out, running off a miss. 4 on 2. And the two win, at least for now, will have a throw-in for the Flames.
And we talk about sense of urgency, Sam, in what Coach Marks, we asked him what he wanted to get out of this game was, he said they've been playing against each other, beating each other up all preseason, all summer, right? You come being an NAIA team, you come and play Division I team, where it's another gear that you're in, and another gear that you see is possible. And so it'll take St. Francis to settle into that speed and slow down a little bit to get a rhythm.
Freeman off the glass. And it's UIC by 22. All right, so for St. Francis, it's time to settle in.
Yeah, we saw in that last play where they worked the ball around, they got a good look. There's no need to settle, no need to try and go one-on-one. Work the ball. At some point, you're going to realize, like, hey, I've played against guys like this before, out in the park, out on the AAU circuit. Now let's just settle down and play some ball.
These are two programs who have played some ball against each other. Actually, a surprising amount. 11 meetings. You mentioned the CSAC conference. Well, UIC was in that conference until 1981. So all-time 11 matchups. St. Francis actually with the lead, 6-5. Here's a steal from Mason, cruising up the floor. Mason, Reeves, a 3, offensive board, Freeman, and his miss boarded by Moriarty.
Yeah, nice offensive board by Freeman. And again, like we said, with this spacing, a lot of threes, a lot of long rebounds leads to offensive boards.
Renault with a mismatch. His pocket is picked by Mason. Mason, the transfer from Texas State. Consolaris. Now Freeman. Lost his dribble, and here is the pass to Jeffries. Good defensive set here for St. Francis. Consolaris, a teardrop for Moriarty.
That's a tough shot to guard. He'll get that going this season. That's a tough one to guard.
Merrick Small from downtown, the big Aussie for 3.
And that's a big Aussie haircut. I used to coach down there, Sam, and that's a normal hairstyle.
Gotta love the mullet. He's from Ipswich in Queensland. Here's Jokum off to Moriarty, and he's fouled by Freeman. It'll take us to the under 12 timeout. UIC by a lot right now. 19-point lead. Offense, defense, all clicking on the opening night of college hoops. Back after this. The MVC Fan Hangout at Ballpark Village is the best place to celebrate before and after games. Visit the MVC Fan Hangout to enjoy Ballpark Village restaurants, entertainment, and everything Arch Madness. For more info, visit archmadness.com. Click on Fan Hangout. All right, we've mentioned to you the new man in charge. In his first year at the helm, it's Rob Eson. Comes in from Stanford, where he was an assistant, and across his coaching career, 18 years, although, does he look a day over 18? He's clean-shaven like both of us.
Yeah, it's give him a few more years at head coach. That'll change.
42 years old, native of Sacramento. He played at UC Davis. We had a great chat with Coach Isan.
I tell you what, I really enjoyed talking to him. And the one thing I really enjoyed is, like, everybody loves coaching. It's a passion. It's a way of life. But the thing I love about him is, like, he said, you know, he obviously puts his heart and soul into his team and his game and his prep. But he's like, when I come home, I'm not watching film till like 12:30. He's engaged with his family. And having that life balance is really important to prevent, you know, a Division I head coach from getting burnout.
And that burnout seems to be happening more and more and more. So
Yeah.
smart by Rob. Here's one of his newcomers, Kunslaris. Mason, prodding. Mason from about 5. And rebound tips to Jokum.
Boy, again, just the length of the Flames. And you don't realize how big of a difference that makes on both ends of the floor.
And there's Joffrey Nunali hitting from point-blank range. And now Flames with a quick response. Like you said, off a make, fast. Reeves weaving. He was shoved out. It's a foul.
Yeah, one of the toughest things to do in basketball, Sam, is transition defense and quality transition defense. And with the way that the Flames are getting the ball up the court, and you do it quickly by passing, not dribbling, it forces you to engage your transition defense quickly and stop the ball. And then your help side has to be engaged as well. If all 2, 3, 4 parts in that transition D aren't on the same page, it's going to be a long night.
After hitting 5 of their first 6, Flames have missed a few threes in a row. Figures to be a nice night for UIC, though, with a big lead and the high posted spots. Nice cut down low. Richardson. Anabitarte. And he was fouled. It'll go against Flair.
Yeah, good patience by St. Francis that time. They work the ball around inside, outside. Here we see teams letting guards facilitate off the block a lot these days. And a little dribble penetration, playing defense, rotate quick enough. When you're in situations like St. Francis where you're a little bit behind this early, there's no need to rush. You're not going to overcome the deficit in 2 minutes. Establish an offensive flow, work the ball around and get some easy looks.
Well, that'll make it difficult. Jeffries with the hammer.
Boy, that was something. That was something. Good hand in the passing lane. Nice big easy flush.
Playing his 102nd game of college basketball tonight. First with the Flames. Nearly had another steal there, but tiptoed on the sideline. And a couple of Flame subs now. Scoball and Henderson. Let's watch that last one again, Coach.
You know, being active and doing the little things, detail, Sam, having your hand in the passing like Jeffrey did that time, leads to quick, easy buckets. We know Jeffrey's UAB background as well as Coach Isan.
They did overlap at UAB. Missed each other by a year, but Isan at first recruited him. It's the way college basketball goes. Everyone's going to overlap at some point.
It's a small world.
Feels like you know half the people in this place. Here's Jokum off the fade. Jokum ran out of time. So shot violation means Flames ball.
Another benefit of doing one of these games, and that's great video. Right now, what Coach Mark's doing, he obviously wants to come out, win the game. But you are getting great video to show this team what they need to work on. And a lot of it has to do with special situations like that, court awareness, shot awareness, things like that. And good positive attitude here by St. Francis. Even though they're down tough. Good team culture, which is a hallmark of a Ryan Mark's coach team.
Heads held high. Coach Mark has been a head coach 23 years now, as Siani's fouled. So he's in his Jordan year of head coaching, and he knows how to establish culture.
Well, Coach Marks here's a nice drop there. They'll get that earlier this season. Nice play. Coach Marks in Midwest basketball circles really respected. He's been in the game long and know who he is, and just how much respect him on and off the court.
First free throw of the season good for Siani, who was at 52% last year. Yeah, Coach Marks has made so many stops and over 320 wins as a collegiate head coach. Siani splits him over to Anabitarte. Coach Marks told us they watched the greatest night in pop the night before they started their training camp. Movie about the We Are the World video as officials get in the way, and it'll stay with St. Francis. The official is in play.
Yeah, can't blame him on that one. Jeffrey's again, good anticipation. You can see he's going to be one of those guys that really is looking for that kind of lull the offensive player to sleep. And then next thing you know, he has an explosive first and second step. We'll get his hand in the passing lane.
Anabitarte, corner 3. Air ball.
Good look.
And then he gets a steal for redemption. His Euro step leads to throwing. So a little sloppy from Anabitarte.
You'll hear this all the time. Easy plays the best here. Nice awareness. He should have dropped that one off right there. Would have had an easy layup by Richardson.
Anabitarte's first game in 20 months after another knee surgery, third of his life. And looking to get back into shape. Anabitarte off to Fox. Big lineup here for St. Francis. Fox drops it down low. Anabitarte again. And in and out.
Good look. Nice ball movement by St. Francis. You want to keep your dribbling to a minimum, Sam. If you're doing any more than 3 dribbles once you got the ball, you're not doing something right.
Teardrop for the speed demon. Ahmad Henderson has 7.
Boy, these guards that come out of the Chicago Catholic League, just among the best in the country. And the quickest, too.
Why not the best?
Yeah.
Henderson out of Brother Rice High School right here in the city. And a foul on Ciani. Got him for a little wrist slap.
Same tenure as Marquise Kennedy.
A Loyola legend on the other side of town. So UIC showing us a lot of offense. Step aside. Under 8 to go in the first. Oh, Flames right now on opening night. Welcome back to Chicago. Good to have you on the first night of the season. Let's get right into it with some trivia. Philip Scoball, 93 games at UIC. He's 10th in this program's history. In which stat category? We'll give you the answer in the second half. Let this marinate. 10th all-time in which stat category? So chew on that, folks. Here's Small against Ciani. Casper back to Small. 5 to shoot, and that is picked by Ciani.
Which is just good active hands by Flames on defense.
Henderson, Scoball. The 3 is good. Well, we put you on the trivia. You put it in the hoop.
Well, that's what Coach Isan wanted to do with Scoball at his new position, right? Be a little more perimeter-oriented, utilize his fantastic three-point shooting ability.
And foul against UIC. Well, Philip Scoball, preseason All-Missouri Valley third team. He's a two-time scholar athlete, 4.0 student. The man, in his coach's words, is Mr. UIC.
I believe they said heck of a student, too. And you really have to credit him. He probably could have transferred out in the portal to a couple other places and chose to stay here.
Niego off an incredible save. Board by Casper on the offensive glass. Casper's pocket gets picked. And now here come the Flames, and Jackson will just lay it.
Wow. You know a team is elite, Sam, when they convert from offense, defense, offense by their first 3 steps. And that is a priority that coaches will make. And like the Flames' first 2 steps, highly explosive, and getting that lead right off the turnover. That's going to be very difficult to defend.
It's those steps in the middle of the court, right? Let's watch those now. Jackson dumps, and Pickett is just bear hugged and fouled by Dakota Jokum.
Yeah. Right now, St. Francis, again, needs to slow down a little bit. As we see, again, just active hands that time by Jackson. Nice little drop off Pickett. He's going to be mad that he didn't go up and get that shot with foul. But what we're seeing from the Flames is a sense of urgency on defense because they have so much emphasis on their transition game, Sam, that it affects their defense. Like we want to play good defense, so we get that ball and run.
Now in the half-court offense, it's Henderson. Nice whip into the corner. Jackson the 3, and It was boarded by Casper.
Well, good look, and the offensive system worked that time. Penetration, overhelp from the weak side corner by St. Francis at that time. Left Jackson wide open for that.
Couldn't convert, but the Flames are 6 of 9 from downtown. Here's Ramel Davis. He was our player to watch for St. Francis. And in the corner, off for Sims, board for Skobal. Pickett. In transition, muscles home a slam.
Might have gotten away with a couple steps there, Sam, but he made for it when he climbed the mountain. I mean, what a play. 1-2 step, elevate for the finish.
And that was UIC's two returning starters, Skobal and Pickett, linking up for the highlight. Now Casper. St. Francis just looking to establish some rhythm in their first game as well. Here's Small. Casper. Working on Skobal, the senior.
Active hands again.
That was Pickett. And the corner, Diego running out of time with two. Not your shot. Here comes UIC with Ahmad Henderson. Skobal. Sasha Ciani, the transfer from Xavier. Some pretty footwork, but he dumped it away.
Yeah, that time Ahmad Henderson just doing a great job getting those first three steps out and leading the fast break. St. Francis is going to have to engage him around half court and get him to turn 1, 2, 3 times to slow that break down, or else the Flames are just going to be getting layups and really good shots all night.
Ryan Marks, 13th-year head coach for St. Francis, as you said, a coaching legend in the great state of Illinois.
Yeah, just one of the really good guys and just great coach wherever he goes. Runs the program nice, does it the right way.
His program now on offense is Aussie big man Merrick Small with the left hand.
Nice move. Nice little running left hand there. Use your length.
JUCO transfer from Cochise College down in Arizona. Pickett. Now Mason off the glass.
Yeah, just aggressive. Wow. This Flames team is just competing every moment they're on the court. And Sam, when you have a coach that gives you the green light like Coach Easton has on the offensive end, and when you have that spacing that allows you to create, it just really empowers every single offensive player.
Davis, left hand, and fouled by Pickett. It'll take us to the under 4 timeout. Well, we were told UIC is going to run and score a lot. So far, so good. We'll be back.
At UI Health, we're
Good to have you back. Hope it's been a nice Monday. The Flames shooting 67% from downtown, 63 from the floor. Those are numbers that you could compute maybe if you were a chemical engineer. That's our UIC major of the game. Coach Sparks, you could take electrical circuit analysis if you want to go back and get another degree.
I mean, you talk about majors and degrees that are going to translate into today's workforce where there are significant needs. You're looking at them right there. You know, I work in the medical industry for the day job, and pretty much every single one of those, we've got a lot of them.
Ramel Davis with his first bucket of the night. So for all you chemical engineers watching, you have earned our major of the game. As Davis, who was the leading scorer last year for St. Francis, splits the free throws, just like he split the colors of his shoes. One green, one pink. Kind of like it. Keep us honest.
Yeah, you got to keep it fresh, and it's good that Coach Marks allows the guys to do that.
Fashion freedom. Name of the game. Here's Jackson. Skipping. Consleris working on Small. Consleris weaving under, and he draws contact. Some nifty footwork.
You know, a guy like Consleris, who he really is kind of a floating four, I would call. But to see a guy that is that versatile have that good of footwork with his back to the basket shows that he's intentionally working on that. And you don't see that anymore, Sam. Like, all these guys want to hover around, pick and pop, shoot threes, things of that nature. But we see the footwork that he has down low, which will create mismatch problems once they get into the Missouri Valley Conference schedule.
6'9". Coach tells us he'll play the 5 a lot this year, although he is not a traditional 5, maybe a 4.5 or so.
Yeah, that's a great point. The 5 in Coach Eson's system is going to be different than most other 5s.
UIC's tallest players are 6'9" Sasha Tsiani and 6'9" Consleris. Davis working on Freeman. Davis using that big body, 6'5", 220 for 2.
Really nice, strong move.
On the other end, Reeves, all the way to Freeman. Jackson with the spin, and Jackson and 1.
Again, spacing creates everything. It's a beautiful thing, and we saw how quickly they got the ball up that time, right? Good execution, but look at that. Just miles and miles of space. Nice finish, and that's all predicated by the rest of the offensive players hovering outside the three-point line.
Jackson can't finish the and 1, but offensive board. How about Consleris fighting for that? Jackson looking for redemption. Down to Consleris, wide open.
Yeah, critical mistake by Anna Batarde there by helping up. If you're a big defensive player and you have someone beneath you on the rim, you never help up on the dribbler. You always fake and fall, because if you do, you're going to leave a wide open player under the rim like we saw that time.
His mistake leads to 2, and Ana Bitarte leaves 2 on the rim. Mason boarded and takes it. Jordan Mason, who Coach Eson says might be our most talented player, drops it off for Reeves, wide open for 3. And rebound to Ana Bitarte.
Freeman just about hit his head on the backboard going for the rebound there.
The trampoline on that end of the court. Ana Bitarte, first game in 20 months after knee surgery.
We see with St. Francis here.
Merrick Small for 3.
Nice shot there. They needed to get that, but the more they try and do the one-on-one, the more it's not being effective for them. They need to work on getting some backdoor cuts, getting some free throws, attack the rim.
Here's Consleris on Small. He attacks the rim and does so successfully. So it's a 28-point lead again for UIC.
And right now, Sam, like Coach Eson just wants to work on execution. Both ends of the floor. Execute your rotations and your positions.
Turnover 12 right there for St. Francis. And Jackson, another 3. How about a game-high 17 points for Javon Jackson? Timeout.
I mean, this guy knows where to be, where the open spot is, and he knocks him down. A quiet 17 at half. Flames up 50-19.
Puts the Flames at the half-century mark. Javon Jackson sparks one of the 8 transfers. He comes from Utah State, a team that made the second round of the NCAA tournament, and that experience invaluable.
Well, let's talk about Utah State's program. Most people don't know how good they are and how good they have been. So I coached out at Utah Valley University. We had to play there. They have one of the best home court atmospheres in all of college basketball. They play in, I believe it's the Mountain West or the West Coast Conference. It's one of the 2 really good ones out there. And year after year for the past 10, 15 years in the NCAA tournament, getting high-level players, developing them, and winning conference championships and going to the NCAA tournament.
And into round 2 of the NCAA tournament last year, the Utah State Aggies back-to-back 20-win seasons with Javon Jackson, and now we got him here in Chicago.
Yeah, and just a beautiful campus as well in Logan, Utah, I believe, in the mountains.
Isn't everything in Utah beautiful?
Oh, it's hard to beat.
Moriarty for 3. Sheer Moriarty out of Holon, Israel, with his first bucket.
Really nice set play there by Coach Marks out of timeout.
They've nailed those after timeout sets.
Yep. That's always a sign of a good coach. You know, your halftime adjustments, your after timeout, and the last 2 minutes of the game.
With 8 on the shot clock, Mason. Consleris, the spin. He finds a cutting Nathaniel who's fouled. And that's the first game action for the freshman from Buford, Georgia, Jace Nathaniel, who will head to the stripe.
Yeah, as we see here, the Flames are really looking for this little dump-off pass where a big will have it down on the block and another big will flash. But they're too close on the flash, so that time when Nathaniel went to the rim, he needs to give himself and the pass a little bit more room. Instead of being 2 or 3 feet away, that 3 to 5 feet can make all the difference in the world for going up strong, allowing yourself to gather the pass and then go up and finish. But again, these is getting great film here, great practice film.
At almost double rate to what you're used to in practice.
Yep.
Nathaniel splits up, but an offensive board hauled in by Freeman. And shot clock's off with 10 to go. UIC with a smothering first half. Jeffries dropping for Contreras. He's tied up, and we got a jump ball call. Possession goes to St. Francis.
We're seeing a lot of these little drop-off teardrop passes, whether they're a bounce pass or a lob. If you're Jeffries, you have to realize if you have a big guy like Contreras, you got to put it up higher in his hands.
29-point lead for UIC. Well, you shoot it 66% from the floor, and good things will happen. It's a game-high 17 for Javon Jackson in the season opener for the Flames and the Saints. We're back with halftime coverage after this on opening night.
That has made the second round of the NCAA tournament twice in its last 8 seasons. Northern Iowa, Bradley, Illinois State, and Missouri State all coming later next year. Here's the full promotions calendar. But tonight, it's UIC and St. Francis. And for UIC, it's a familiar foe that they've dominated recently, UIC winning its last 3, although all-time, actually 6-5 in favor of St. Francis, program that, like UIC, used to be, is part of the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference and actually dominated this matchup in some of those early years. St. Francis won 6 of the first 8 matchups against UIC. Flames have won the last 3, and Chris, they're well on their way to a 4th.
I mean, that's Chicago basketball, right? You just always have good talent here. You find players everywhere that will come back here. They'll go to a school like a St. Francis. They'll come back and play for the Flames. In the age of the portal now, Sam, anything can happen. And that's one of the things I love about it is you're going to start to see a lot of guys that they want to go out of town to get the college experience for a year or two. They go someplace, they maybe don't have the experience they want on the court or off the court, and they want to come back to where their parents and their family and their friends can watch them play. And if Coach Isan gets this up-tempo style of play, pro style of play that he has going like he did the first half, he's going to get a lot of Chicago kids to stay home, and it's a tough thing to do.
It's always been a goal for UIC, right? You are Chicago's college team. You want to recruit within this great city. I mean, if I'm a high school kid, I'm watching the speed, I'm watching the spacing, the shooting, the vibe.
Yep.
I'm liking it so far through 20 minutes.
You have to give these local kids a reason to stay. And you see some other programs here in town or in the area, they go through phases of doing that. And I can tell you, this is a style of play I would love to be part of.
Ciani for 2. He's anything but local. He is one of 4 international players on this roster out of Nova Gorica in Slovenia.
Very, very nice pronunciation.
Thank
I've got
you.
a lot of ex-Yugoslavian friends. You said that perfectly, Sam.
Thank you very much. Here's Henderson off a bobble, and Ahmad Henderson, the finish.
Well, good things happen when you're active and you compete. And the Flames, we've talked about it all game with the active hands and just being in the right position. And when you get steals like that, offensively for St. Francis, it's really frustrating to play against.
9 steals caused by the Flames tonight as Renault is fouled by Henderson.
Coach Mark's going to a lot more set plays here, which I think is good. A little horn set with the flare screen and penetration there. Yeah, late defense. That's, good video fodder right there for Coach Isan. He's going to
tell Henderson he's got to slide his feet a little bit better.
The miss for Davis, got his own board. Second time's the charm. Ramel's a big boy.
He is, and guys like that, especially in that conference, are very effective with their footwork off the offensive rebound close to the rim.
Skobal a three. And offensive board by Pickett. Jackson, 17 points in the first half, and he throws it to Anabitarte.
Yeah, good anticipation by Anabitarte at that time, knowing that they're looking for that skip pass off the penetration.
Renault on Henderson. Renault at 5'9", sort of a throwback point guard, according to his coach. And here's that throwback off the glass. It's boarded by Pickett. Jackson bumping into his man. Jackson will go to the line.
Well, a tale of two worlds there off of those plays by the penetration by Renault and Jackson. We saw Renault, when he attacked the rim, he turned his shoulders away from the player and away from the rim, whereas you see Jackson here squares his shoulders to the rim, plays through the contact, almost initiates the contact, and gets the foul. If you shy away from that contact, Sam, you're not going to get a call, and you're most likely not going to get the basket either.
You need to want contact. You need to train your brain to want contact, right? I mean, I don't want contact.
I loved it.
You did?
Yeah.
That's why you played the game. The Valpo star, Chris Sparks, here with you. Sam Preef, our wonderful crew at UIC on opening night as Merrick Small leaves one on the rim and then out of bounds off Ciani. Just kind of Butterfinger moment.
Yeah, good transition that time. And again, footwork around the rim is so important with bigs. And that time, Small should have just caught the ball, jump stopped 2 feet, and then gone up straight instead of trying to get a quick release.
Davis up top and Renault in the corner. Flames by 32 in their first game under Rob Eson. There's Jalen Renault with his first points.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Jalen Brunson around there with the way he just gets into the rim, a little bit of a fadeaway, a little bit trying to draw the contact that time. Nice play.
Jalen. Here's Ciani. Bullying in the paint. Can't go over Small. And St. Francis responding.
Again, Ciani, you can't shy away from the contact. That time, he let Small get him off balance. And the best players you see everywhere are the players that have the best balance. You look at the Kevin Durant's of the world, the LeBron James, Luka Doncic's. They never let a defensive player get them off of their foundational stance with their feet.
Some of the best to ever do it as Henderson leaves one on the front end of the rim. And then a foul on Jackson, a little over-aggressive on the transition D.
Yep, things getting a little bit ugly here as the guys are settling in again. But again, just active hands. You know, and as a coach, Coach Eson will like that aggressiveness by Jackson. I mean, he's only got how many fouls now? That's his first personal foul. You love a good aggressive play like that.
You know, one foul, 18 points on 7 of 9 shooting. Nice night for Javon. And another St. Francis turnover. They've done that now 14 times. So UIC by 30 on opening night of the 44th season of UIC Flames basketball. Down low, Ciani wide open.
Nice little drop down. Again, trying to refine that high-low pass, which is not necessarily a lob. It's not necessarily a straight pass, but you have to put a little bit of snap on it.
Anabitarte. Skobal's all over him, causing havoc. And out of bounds with 10 on the shot clock.
Yeah, active hands by Skobal. Really frustrating St. Francis. And then again, the rest of the Flames being in the correct defensive position off the ball just puts a lot of pressure on the ball handler.
Look at those hops from Ethan Pickett. And Davis with just 5 to shoot. Davis from 15 feet. Board to Ciani.
That's a tough shot against Pickett's length and jumping ability. That's a tough shot to take.
And this is something we'll see from UIC. Big man just took it up the floor. Pickett weaving through all by himself.
Second effort, quick catch and release going straight back up. Again, you can see these Flames have no hesitation on offense because Coach Isan has really empowered them. They all have the green light essentially on the offensive end of the floor.
And that rebounding battle is +7 still for the Flames. Here's Renault. Renault weaving and rebound Siani.
Yeah, again, fading away from the basket, shoulder not square to the rim. That's a tough shot.
Jackson, 3-ball. Javon is hot tonight with 21.
Yeah, that's his 4th 3 now. Somebody like that where he doesn't shoot when he's not set. If you see these guys 1-2 stepping into shots like that, you're going to make a high percentage of those shots.
38% last year for Utah State and 4 of 5 tonight. That's a foul on Renault off a small miss, and it'll send us to our first timeout of half 2. UIC all over it on night 1 of college hoops. For Isan era, the new head coach for UIC, and he's got a new motto that these guys are supposed to embody, and it's be legendary, something Coach has been saying since he was 19 years old, and he's brought it here to Chicago.
Yeah, Sam, like a lot of coaches will come up with these platitudes and these phrases like that, and they don't live it. It's something they start at the beginning of the season, or they might put it on your practice shorts or something like that. You can tell that Coach Isan really breaks that down into how you apply that in your game and in life. And we can even see it out here with these guys playing today, just how confident we talk about their playing, how instinctively they're playing. And the one thing I really appreciate about what Coach Isan said about his be legendary stance is that it's not something you just talk about. It's the day-to-day grind and work of making that happen. And if he can get this team to continually buy in and they see results from it, that's the most important thing. That could be a really culture standard bearer for years to come.
Reeves, a corner 3. He stepped out, so give it right back to St. Francis. Well, be legendary. Coach says he defines it as inspiring others to strive for greatness. And kind of on the note of those platitudes, sometimes it seems like something the coach just came up with the night before the job. But for him, he's like, hey, I've been doing this 3 decades, be legendary.
Yeah,
Contreras, 2, Jeffries, the finish.
Wow. You got a guard that can finish like that.
That was legendary.
That's good. Yeah, again, like Coach Isan works it into everything that he does. It's not just a platitude. There's different levels to how you achieve that he's trying to instill into these players in this program.
Has them journal for 5 minutes every week, be in touch with the mental side of the game too, as Casper draws some contact and Connor Casper to the line.
Wow. What a finish, though, off the fast break last time. If you're having your guards dunking in transition, like we saw Reeves there, Jeffries. If I'm a Missouri Valley Conference point guard and I'm looking at that video and thinking I'm going to have to guard that this season, that's not fun.
Yeah, like, oh no, runaway train I've got to step in front of. This is a new UIC program. It's not going to be a slow, defensive-oriented team. They'll play D, yeah, but they'll move quick.
Definitely, a difference from the previous regime that you can tell. And again, it's all about being competent and disciplined at what you want to be good at.
There's another 3, this time Reeves.
Yeah, just like we can see right there again, just their discipline to their spacing is phenomenal. Now, as they go on in Missouri Valley Conference, you're not going to see teams collapse that much or break down off the dribble, but you're going to get a lot of open threes with this system.
Fots from 15. Board goes to Mason. Contreras off the fake. That was pretty for the Lithuanian.
That's the footwork we were talking about. Nice little 2-foot jump stop, hop step. Gathered himself, was patient up and under.
They call him Big Mo, Modestas Contreras, out of Kaunas, Lithuania.
Lithuania producing a lot of good players. Tremendous Lithuanian basketball community here in the suburbs of Chicago as well. Really, basketball is a focus of it too. The basketball leagues that they have out there, western suburbs. They have that community center.
Lithuanian basketball on the rise, big time.
And we talked about recruiting these international kids and how Chicago is just a jackpot for it.
Big Mo hits the jackpot.
You know, when I was coaching at Valpo, when I was playing there, we had a ton of international kids. It was about half the team. And even though we're an hour and a half away from downtown Chicago, we used the cultural diversity of the city to recruit these kids.
Moriarty leaves it, and Conslera's the board, right? It's the allure of Chicago, third biggest city in America, and there's Mason missing.
It means a lot to these kids if there's a Lithuanian or a Slovenian or a Croatian cultural center or church or restaurant close by that they can go to.
Oh, you're making me hungry now. UIC by a lot. We're back after this. UIC has been high flying from tip to now. And here's one of the newcomers, Kobe Jeffries, dropping the hammer. Now let's drop a trivia answer. Philip Skobal, 10th all time. In what stat category, Coach?
I mean, seeing as how he is Serbian, I'm going to have to say, since he's a big man, threes.
On cue, a three from Freeman. And let's see the answer. Maybe in a moment. Richardson will bring it up. There you go. 3-pointers made. Skobal with 164.
Yeah, you know, having a guy that's that big that can be that effective from the three-point range just opens everything up for the rest of the team.
Ramel Davis and one on the other side.
Yep, nice little play there. Draw by Coach Marks. When, you know, Coach Marks has got some really good sets, and when St. Francis sticks to him and executes them, good things happen. And again, good video for him to take home for this team.
Talk about good video. My eyes are going to the crinkle fries.
Well, that's because your DoorDash just went off for it with Portillo's by your fiance.
Some Tillos on a Monday night.
Oh,
sounds
man.
pretty nice, doesn't
dude,
it?
does it ever.
And Ramel Davis is at the stripe.
Just had a big work thing this weekend and had a lot of people come in town, and that was the first thing they wanted as soon as they got to the hotel.
Portillo's has its allure. Here's a Reeves three off the front end, board by Big Mo.
Yeah, again, long shot, long spacing, long rebound.
Freeman, strong, and fight for the rebound. It's a foul called on Jeffries, so we'll go to St. Francis. Are you a beef guy? Chicken tendies? Dog?
I mean, to be honest with you, usually when I go there, it's a cake shake and a Coke.
That's it?
I mean, that's like, it's a treat for me to go
Whoa.
there. So, yeah.
Whoa, so it's a dessert experience.
It's a dessert experience for me, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, is there anything better than a cake shake?
No, honestly, I struggle. I don't know why I listed all those other things.
Yeah.
There's mayo in it, right?
In the cake?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
I think so. It makes it taste good.
Yeah.
Nice and creamy. All right, here's St. Francis. Small. Over Big Mo. In and out. Rebound for Mason.
Nice penetration there. Just got to finish that.
Conslaris, 10 of 25 from three last year. As a weave for Mason is good.
Yeah, right now we're seeing St. Francis is getting a little winded here. And so we might see Coach Marks switch it up on defense, maybe go to a zone or get some of the other 24 players on this team that he has some court time here.
It's a huge roster. Says sometimes he'll even run out of baskets at practice for some of the shooting drills they do.
Well, I mean, that's just a real credit to him. Well, again, in the culture of his program, to be able to get that many kids to be involved and stay and enjoy it, it's just a real credit to Coach Marks.
On the baseline, drive was intercepted. Here's Davis. Ramel Davis bullies over his defender, but defender Reeves is charged with the foul.
Sam, what's your go-to Portillo's order?
Beef.
Is it?
I'm a beef man.
What all do you get on it?
I'll go sweet peppers, extra juicy.
Ooh, I like that.
Extra juicy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
don't want to skimp on that.
You know, and it kind of really galls me. I went to Philadelphia about 6 weeks ago for work, and I went to the two steak Philly cheesesteak
Yeah.
places there. Everybody told me just get the steak, a little bit of peppers, a little bit of onions, and it was very dry and unfulfilling. Yeah, the cheesesteak with whiz, and I'm more on your side of like the more the better, the more juicy the better.
No, I'll pass on the cheesesteak. Give me the Tillo's beef extra juicy. Save your whiz.
Yeah, next time I go there, I'm telling them triple everything.
Yeah, come on. Have them order the beef.
It was quite an experience, though. It was a really neat place.
Up in Philly.
Yeah, it was. But it made you just think, like, I'd rather have a Portillo's.
Yeah. We have it made here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Davis hits them both. UIC 34-point lead on opening night. The 44th season of UIC basketball. And there's a quick move for Henderson. UIC's speed demon.
You know, just such a good tradition of basketball here. I know they're trying to get to be in a position that they want to be, and new athletic director, new coach. You know, back when I was playing, Jimmy Collins was the head coach, and you know, back I think he was even here when I was coaching as well too. Used to get a lot of those Chicago-based players.
Got a couple on this year's squad, more and more.
Yep.
Will come for Rob Eson. Here's Jokum on a nice cut and the finish. UIC looking to extend its home opening win streak to 9 tonight as an offensive foul is charged on Mason.
Yeah, anytime you extend that forearm, that's an easy call for the officials. Nice little penetrate. And again, the thing I like about that, though, if we're watching video, he initiated the contact and went towards the rim instead of away from it. So, like, as a coach, I would take that, say that's fine, just don't lean in as much. Maybe a little step back there would be in play. But you want your players to attack the rim, to not be afraid, and more than anything, stay on balance. Don't lean back, don't fade back unless it's part of a shot.
And then a travel for Davis. So you look at a charge like that, not overly egregious, and you say, actually, hey, that's fine.
It's a quick adjustment to either keep your eyes up a little bit more so you don't lean in as much, or it's a good time for a step-back shot. Again, a la kind of like a little Jalen Brunson. You know, Jalen Brunson from Libertyville, just elite at his balance. When he does that, when he penetrates, he doesn't lean back. He doesn't let anyone take him off of his posture, and then we'll spin back and do that nice little fadeaway.
Now 14 points for that man, Ahmad Henderson. You've mentioned Brunson a couple times tonight. UIC was actually watching film of Brunson in his time with the Knicks.
Interesting.
A couple days ago at practice. Good guy to scout. Here's Anabi Tarte on Schobal, and contact foul on Schobal will take us to a timeout. Well, if everyone does their Brunson impression, you'll get more results like this. UIC all over it. NCAA tournament teams from last year. Yale and Northwestern, not just tournament teams, but tournament winners. Both of them made it into the second round. We'll have that Yale call for you right here on ESPN+. And if you're in the area, come join us at Credit Union 1 Arena.
Boy, talk about two different styles of play you'll have Friday. That's going to be a heck of a game.
What do you see in those contrasting styles? UIC against Yale.
I mean, Yale, Coach James Jones, one of the most respected coaches, not only in the Ivy League, but the country. Very deliberate style, a lot of sets. Almost the Princeton style type of play where they're going to try and work the ball around, be deliberate on offense, try and get back doors, try to lull you asleep. And we'll see if their defensive discipline and explosion to get from offense to defense will be able to handle this UIC transition game.
Third time's the charm for Jokum. Yale coming to town 7 o'clock Friday night. That's a team that's made the tournament 4 times since 2016.
Yeah.
James Jones' program has become a beast in the Ivy League. There's a fancy pass. Siani, though, was stripped by Jokum. And here comes Don Jokum. Little travel. And the bench to our right, St. Francis did not like that call, but
they got to deal with it.
Yeah, and you got to love it that they're still in the game here. Coach Mark's still coaching. You know, we see the St. Francis bench here, even the managers, the guys in the second row of the bench, they're highly involved.
Coach Mark styling on a Monday night.
Love it. He is the best.
Such an entertaining guy to talk to. Here's Henderson. Speeding through Henderson. And Ciani fighting with Small, and Small gets the board. So we mentioned Yale next up for UIC. If you're a St. Francis fan, you've got Marion on Sunday. That game played out in Indianapolis.
And do you know who the head coach of Marion is now?
Oh, Ciani to finish. Head coach of Marion. Clue? Clue me?
You want a clue?
Yeah, give me a clue.
The general.
The general. The general.
Pat Knight, the son of Bob Knight, is the head coach. Yeah.
Wow. Royal blood.
Yeah, they just, he was a long-time scout for the Pacers. And I know he was living in Indy or down around Bloomington until his dad passed. And Marion job came open when a guy named Scott Hetty left there to take the University of Indianapolis job. Pat Knight took it over, and consequently a guy named Steve Downing, who played at Indiana for Bob Knight as the athletic director there. But a lot of the likes of really good coaches have come through Marion. Todd Licklider used to be head coach there, former Butler, former Iowa head coach. It's a really nice little school on the outskirts of Indianapolis, not too far from Butler, just about 3 miles from Butler.
Such a basketball hotbed out there in the Hoosier State.
Yep.
That's where St. Francis is headed on Sunday before they open at home the next week. Another sub here for the Saints. Ben Kreitz makes his season debut. He'll replace Ana Bitarte. Approaching the Final Five in Chicago.
And again, at these points, you talk about a head coach wanting execution. You don't want your players to stray or get lazy from your systems.
Go ball off the front end. So how do you avoid that, the straying?
Discipline. I mean, if guys will start to get that natural tendency to kind of slack off a little bit, you yank them out. I mean, the bench is the greatest motivator in the world, but you also have to keep giving them goals.
Woo! Ciani puts Fots on skates.
Nice play. Again, great footwork. So you give them quarterly goals, minute-by-minute goals. Let's execute this way. Let's get this many passes. And I would not be surprised if we start seeing some of the end-of-bench guys coming for the Flames soon.
For now, it's still the starters. And for now, they're cruising. Another turnover. Henderson. Jackson, 21 points tonight, leading everyone.
And I like what Coach Eson's doing here. Like, even though this is your first game of the season and they're winning by a lot, rhythm is so important. And rhythm, when it's under the lights, is so critical to your team developing. You don't want to be trying to find your rhythm. If the first 2 or 3 games you play are against teams where you're winning significantly, and especially when you're jumping into the next 2 games you have with Northwestern, with Yale, those are big ones you got to be ready for.
Your starters need to get that rhythm down, because when Yale comes, when you go to Northwestern, lights are really on.
Well, it's a critical thing. When I was coaching at Valpo, we played North Carolina during the Tyler Hansbrough days. Ooh. And this is when they literally had 7 or 8 McDonald's All-Americans on the team. And Roy Williams would tell teams, hey, listen, if we're beating you by 30 or 40 points, I'm going to keep my starters in until the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Because they were beating teams by that much, he knew in the NCAA tournament they wouldn't be up by that much, and they needed to have that end-of-game rhythm and experience. And so it's a part of the game, and you hate to see the score get out of control, but as long as you're playing the game the right way and being respectful for each other, it's okay.
At a certain point, some fans watch and say, oh, they're running up the score, it's disrespectful. Well, no, at a certain point, the score doesn't really matter. You're looking to get the rhythm.
That's a great point. And the way you always negate that, Sam, is you play harder on defense than you do offense. So if you're getting easy baskets on offense, if the score is getting out of control, if you're playing hard-nosed defense, if you're taking charges, you're rebounding the ball, fans and opposing players and coaches are going to know that you're not doing it to disrespect the other team.
There's always a goal in mind. As St. Francis keeps emptying their bench, bringing in Ibrahim Mobayed. Right now, it's Joffrey Nunali at the line. He's got 3 points. His second from the stripe. Swish. Well, UIC already hit 75 points, which means a free slice of Portillo's chocolate cake for every fan in attendance. They might hit the century mark tonight. Henderson throws it away. The steal for Sims. Delshawn Sims cruising. Kreitz. Nunali. You gonna go redeem your cake tomorrow morning?
I've got to find my ticket first, so I'm going to see if somebody maybe dropped one on the way out.
Oh, you're gonna be rummaging through the trash on your way out. There's a board for Big Mo off an Nunali miss.
I haven't heard the PA announcer announce it yet. Maybe that's because we have headphones on, but
Probably.
hopefully somebody will have left theirs behind.
And just leave it in your seats if you're listening. Chris Sparks wants his cake. Mabayed in the high post. St. Francis looking to keep it respectable as Sims converts from 20.
You know, when this St. Francis team executes their plays and they work the ball around and they're disciplined, they get really good looks and they execute.
It's a team that's often in the upper echelon of the CSAC conference. Only one losing season this decade. And the rebound from Mabayed. Now, that losing season was last year, 10-16, but it was a season marred by tons of season-ending injuries. The block for Nathaniel leads to another break. Here's Jackson. And he gives it right back to Mabayed. So some tighter legs, and the team's just kind of bumbling back and forth, and we continue. This is Big Mo flushing home. I'll take it from you, you'll take it from me, and I'll finish it. UIC and St. Francis on the first night of the season going down to the wire, and the Flames by a ton. But here's the latest finish for Big Mo Contreras. Final 2 minutes of action here at UIC. Sam Brief, Chris Sparks, and our wonderful crew with you. And with the Flames, who are opening the Rob Eason era with some pizzazz, 88 points, as Mabayed goes in and out on the 3. Contreras transferring to UIC from Cal State Bakersfield. Off to Reeves. Under 2 to go for the freshman Jace Nathaniel. Met with a hard foul by Kreitz.
Boy, Cal Bakersfield, played against them when I was coaching at Utah Valley. Talk about a tough place to get to. But again, nice penetration here. And again, this team is so good at attacking the rim without fear. And getting to the foul line is a hallmark of a system like Coach Eason wants to run. Attack the rim, get to the foul line, shoot threes. Mid-range, bad.
How do you get to Cal State Bakersfield?
My gosh. From Utah, where we were, you had to fly into, I think we flew into, wasn't LAX. It was, where did they make all the movies? Starts with a B.
Burbank.
Flew into Burbank, and then you take a...
All right, we're going to step aside.
Yep, we'll finish this.
We'll listen during break. The freshman Jace Nathaniel is at the line. Someone who Coach Eason calls a physical monster. He's expected to contribute to this program right away.
I mean, just length again on top of length. I mean, guys that are this size and this type of athleticism are prototypical players for the type of system Coach Eason wants to run.
And that system, if you're just tuning in, it's all about speed. It's all about sharing the ball and spacing it. Little teardrop misses for Harrington.
And Nathaniel went to Arizona Compass Prep, which is one of the elite ones
Powerhouse
in the country. Yeah.
90 seconds to go. It's Khalid missing a three. Would have been his first UIC bucket. Bench was ready to explode. In the corner, Nunali missing, and Flames respond. So far, so good for the UIC machine. First win as UIC's head coach for Rob Eson.
It's always nice to get your first one. Love this from Coach Marks, getting these guys in here early in the game, getting a little taste of the floor. These are the guys that work hard in practice, do the scout team stuff, maybe don't get as many reps as everyone else.
Some of the end of bench guys coming in for St. Francis. With a minute left, it's Lorenzo Aquino bringing it up the floor. So Rob Eson will move to 1-0 as UIC's head coach, and UIC will win its 9th consecutive home opener. For St. Francis, you take the L, but really valuable, fast-paced experience back to Joliet.
Fast pace is the key phrase there, buddy, because we talked to Coach Marks, and that was the one thing he wanted these guys to get out of this game is he said they've been playing against each other at the same speed that they all play for months, and he wanted them to see and feel that there's another gear that they can go to. And I think they've certainly seen what's possible playing against this Flames team today.
You see it at almost double speed, and then you go back to the NAIA level. They take on Marion next and then open at home.
And when you do that, everything is difficult. Like even just trying to get a pass when you're playing against someone teams that's faster than you at 1 or 2 levels.
And for UIC, it is 1-0. The first game of the Rob Eson era starts with a bang and a dominant 38-point victory. Everything was clicking tonight for the Flames, who win their 9th consecutive home opener. And with tournament teams Yale and Northwestern next, a nice tune-up tonight in Chicago.
Yeah, what a game. I mean, they executed what Coach Eson and his staff wanted to on the offensive end and defensive end. Now that, we'll see what it's like when they go against, like you said, 2 NCAA tournament experienced teams and those type of athletes that they will face in these next 2 games, Sam.
A game-high 21 points for Javon Jackson. Big Mo Conclaris with 12 and 11. And the UIC Flames start 1-0. Alongside my partner Chris Sparks and our wonderful crew here at UIC. Sam Brief saying good night from Chicago. Flames are back in action on Friday at 7. Until then, be safe, be well. We'll talk to you soon.